Okay, point number 2 from this entire situation is that, I'll take it from the Qur'an. The Qur'an, as you have heard many, many times, says that God has deliberately created diversity so you might get to know the other. You've heard this many, many times. In interfaith forums, we repeat it constantly. These days, we even say that the popular idiom is, Jamal, can you practice the 3 cups of tea? Listen, respect, connect. It is very clear from the statistics in this situation, current situation. For example, people opposed to the mosque over 50%, and people who don't know a single Muslim, exactly 60%. 37% who say they favor having a mosque. I'm not talking about New York, any place, having a mosque, a place of worship. 37% who said absolutely. Each one of them knows at least one Muslim. I'm glad all of you know me. So it behooves every Muslim, I tell my Muslim brother and sister, you must make an extra effort to get to know the other. There is magic in really, simply on a human level, connecting with the other. It's not about changing the other. It's simply about a human heart-to-heart connection. You know, it's very interesting. I'd love to study the work of a Jewish mayor who's actually become leader of the Labour Party in Holland. He's very well known in Europe. Job Cohen. He's a Jew. And in Amsterdam, when he was the mayor there, he made it a point as part of his policy as mayor to go to all the, what is called radical mosques, angry imams, angry congregation. And this term was coined that he would spend some time in his mayoral duties to drink tea in the mosques with the imam and with members of the congregation who were angry, who were against the system in Holland. And he was derided, made fun of, he was castigated by his opponents, and they called him all kinds of names. But it's amazing that when, after the murder of this person, Van Gogh, by a young Islamic extremist, brutally murdered, there was all kinds of religious disturbances. Violence, actually, in Holland, except where? Guess where? Except in Amsterdam. Amsterdam was quiet. No outbreak of any religious violence in Amsterdam. Most people think because of this policy of drinking tea in the mosques. There's a very wonderful report from the University of Amsterdam that says that what really exacerbates extremism among those who have radical views is what is called social isolation. So just think about it in your own life. Don't have to worry about religion. In your own life, in your own family, extended family, you can be sure wherever there is social isolation, there will be problems. It really behooves to reach out and make that heart-to-heart connection. We also know, it's easy for me to say that, make that heart-to-heart connection. Celebrate diversity. It's one of the hardest things to really practice. Every tradition says, love your neighbor, as long as the neighbor is the same as you. What if the neighbor is different? You see, in Islam, we talk about this story about Abraham. Abraham is very elevated in the Quran. In fact, he's called the first Muslim. He's not a Jew, he's not a Christian, he's the first Muslim, the father of monotheism. He's called the friend of God in the Quran. But here's a story that, the story is that Abraham, he was so gracious, so generous, and he's the father of monotheism. He would never eat breakfast in the morning until he found a stranger he could feed. So he was sitting at the table and this person was passing by. He said, please, I can't eat breakfast until you come and eat with me. We must share breakfast together. This person, as he came in, happened to be a Zoroastrian. And so when Abraham asked him to do a prayer, he did a prayer which to Abraham sounded like he was worshipping fire. And he said, "What are you doing? This is no prayer. It's terrible. Get out of here." And he chased this man away. Abraham chased this man away. And then came a direct revelation from God saying, Abraham, Abraham, what are you doing? I know he worships fire. He was 100 years old apparently. And God said, I have fed him for 100 years. And you could not even feed him a tiny breakfast? What kind of prophet are you? So the point here is, if it is difficult for Abraham to overcome his conditioning, I know it's difficult for me. So let's ask ourselves, what are my conditionings? May I give myself permission, little by little, to break out of this cocoon of my conditioning by connecting with the other on a human level. That really seems to be the key.